Welcome to MINDSHOCK. Today we are tackling the one and only Isaac Kappy. Now, the Kappy saga has captured the minds of many a conspiracy theorist, aka critical thinker. And not too many deep dives have been done exploring all of the angles, so that's what we will be attempting to do today. And obviously, looking back at Kappy through the lens of 2024 and all that has come to pass in the past few years, with the Hollywood scum being exposed, does Kappy look that crazy now? Does he really? It's pretty mind shocking, even for people who have studied conspiracy theories for quite some time, to just go back and look at how coincidence theorists, bootlick and authority worshipping cultists, they chastised those who engaged in critical thinking. They chastised those that dared ask some questions and utilize logic and reason when it came to looking at these corrupt scum in Hollywood and political circles. Conspiracy theorists, aka critical thinkers, were chastised for all of this instead of just putting their tongues to the boots, like the coincidence theorists love to do. And now, 2024 and onward, I mean, it's kind of crazy how much has already come to pass and what has not already been proven true yet. Is it going to be that shocking if it will in the next couple years? Because out of all the things that have already been proven true, there's not that many left untrue. Not that many. I mean, who knows? Maybe one day the reptilian shapeshifters from another dimension will be common knowledge for even the most gullible of goof coincidence theorists. The Dunning-Kruger crowd, the NPCs, whatever you want to call them. It's actually kind of hilarious because whenever a conspiracy kind of becomes public knowledge, all these goofs kind of pretended that it was never a fringe conspiracy in the first place. You know, either through rebranding, like geoengineering or aerosol spraying, so they can kind of continue to pretend the chemtrails weren't really real, even though they just changed the name. Lot of goofs out there, lot of goofs, and we're all always calling out the gopher here on MINDSHOCK. I am, of course, your host, Bruce McGuire, and you are in for another mind-shocking stroll to conspiracy land, or possibly what can just be known as common reality these days. As always, if you want to help support the MINDSHOCK podcast, help logic and reason return to a world where it is quickly going extinct, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the channel that way. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcaster requests. You can also be a guest on the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind. Leave them in the comments section. All right. So, yeah, this is definitely a bonkers case. And for those that kind of saw it unfold in real time, I mean, the amount of hate Kappy was getting from the coincidence theorist bootlicker crowd, it was pretty extreme. It was pretty extreme. And again, does Kappy look that crazy now? Does he really? I'm going to go through the so-called official narrative first from the wiki, just to set the stage. It always helps to know, like, what the propaganda spin on any particular conspiracy is. And then we will go into the more dicey waters, so to speak, regarding allegations made, so on and so forth, and how the response was, and of course, his death. I guess some people believe he's still alive, but that seems to be the case with literally any public figure. So I'm not sure what we could make of that. So Isaac Kappy, born February 17th, 1977 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, aka Albuquerque, died allegedly May 13th, 2019, aged 42, Belmont, Arizona. Now, okay, I'll just go through this first and then we'll start analyzing. So, Isaac Kappy was an American actor and musician. He had roles in the films Thor 2011, Terminator Salvation 2009, and in the AMC television series Breaking Bad. Oh, now that Breaking Bad has been mentioned, do we have to play the Breaking Bad song? Do we have to play the Breaking Bad song? I think we do. Just gotta find it real quick. Oh, wow. Okay.
Phallus.
Everybody know which song I'm talking about here? If you've watched some of the other live streams, everyone should know.
Fallacies, 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 fallacies.
It's got a certain ring to it. Certainly. Okay, yeah, a lot of people in the chat watched this as it unfolded. Yeah, I remember one of the first posts regarding what he was saying, and it was, man, I mean, this was back a couple years now, but this is back a number of years. It was pretty dark, and I didn't particularly want to continue going down that rabbit hole, let's put it that way. But there was some kind of ring to it where it's not something you could just dismiss outright, especially if you were aware of the level of corruption and evil in Hollyweird. So he was also in The Night Shift, Rachel Dratch's Late Night Snack. Music career as a musician, Kappy played in the band at Charles McMansion. Wow. Interesting name. With Tom Sandoval, the group released one recording, the song TIP, an acronym for Touch in Public, and appeared on the reality show Vanderpump Rules, some kind of spin-off of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm sure everybody in the MINDSHOCK chat celebrates that entire catalog of reality show series and spin-offs. Okay, so personal life conspiracy theories. Kappy appeared as a guest on Alex Jones' radio show InfoWars August 2018, in which he accused multiple movie stars of pedophilia as part of the QAnon conspiracy theory, which involves a cabal of child molesters who run a global child sex trafficking ring. During the broadcast, Jones asked Kappy to be more circumspect and avoid getting into names, while Kappy briefly insisted Jones was gaslighting him by querying his claims. The Daily Beast mentioned that around this time, Kappy had become a hero of the QAnon movement in its news section. In the following years, following his death, a conspiracy theory arose that he did not die by suicide, but was rather the victim of foul play due to his unsubstantiated political views spread by American conspiracy theorists such as Lynn Wood. Legal issues. In 2018, Kappy was investigated by police after reportedly threatening actress Paris Jackson and actor Seth Green. Jackson accused Kappy of choking her at a party they were both attending. The LAPD confirmed an investigation, but said it was not active as of August 2018. That's interesting. So what does that mean? It wasn't active. And of course, Paris Jackson is the daughter of Michael Jackson and Debbie Rowe. So obviously, Michael Jackson, the center of many a conspiracy theory himself. So, yeah, Shifty Eyes Shady. I believe the Fallacy song is the theme song of Craig of Fight the Flat Earth. Yes, indeed. If he had a theme, if he was a pro wrestler rolling his way to the ring, then that's probably the song that would have to play. Okay, so this is very, very interesting because this is someone. So it's actually kind of hard to find a lot of stuff on his childhood. I mean, there's really not a lot of information on his background at all, which is interesting. Here's a post by Aaron McKenna on Quora. Isaac Kappy was a Hollywood actor who allegedly committed suicide May 13, 2019, shortly after producing a video in which he explicitly stated, "I will never commit suicide." Incidentally, this came after Kappy made a series of recorded allegations against prominent Hollywood figures accusing them of pedophilia. Isaac Kappy was convinced that blackmail was a recurring tactic used by Hollywood elites in order to exercise control over actors' careers and respective contracts. Kappy stated explicitly prior to his death with regard to the Hollywood elite, the name of the game is blackmail. They want something on you they can hold over you so that they can own you, and they film it. That's what the whole system is. They want compromised people because they're easier to control. He then went on to name Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, Dan Schneider. Isn't that coming out in the news recently? And Seth Green. Seth Green's been awfully quiet recently, hasn't he? Among other prominent names, and accused them directly. The circumstances surrounding Isaac Kappy's death are therefore extremely controversial. Yeah, it's actually kind of curious. Finding details on his early life is tough. It's tough. Where did he come from? Where did he go? The PhoenixEnigma.com, or at least on Google, it's kind of hard finding background info. Phoenix Enigma has a little bit here. Isaac Benjamin Kappy. He was born to parents Glenn and Wendy Kappy. Younger brother David lived in Albuquerque until he moved in California in 2005 to pursue his acting and singing career. Growing up, Isaac always loved music and singing. It was his first love. Isaac was extremely talented in many areas, and for starters, and was a viola project. What is viola? Apparently, a viola is similar to a violin, a violist, or a viola player. Interesting. I am not versed in all the different types of violins. Okay, so he was a viola prodigy at age 9, which led to a scholarship at the University of Arizona. Isaac transferred from U of A to the University of New Mexico, where he graduated. In 2009, Isaac met Nate Santamaria, and they formed the band Monster Paws. Isaac would become the lead singer of Monster Paws. What a name. In addition to writing and producing much of their music. Isaac was an extremely talented musician and could play just about any instrument. He could sing, create beautiful music and lyric, as well as arts painting with different natural and organic materials. Fine actor. Well, I wonder who wrote this. This looks like it might have... Huh. Also saying acting was never his first love, it was always music. He was a sports fan. Okay. Wow, okay. July 22nd, 2018, Isaac was compelled to get in his car and drive to Comic-Con in San Diego, where he would do a live stream on Periscope, telling the world that his good friend Seth Green was a pedophile, thus becoming a whistleblower and a target. This was followed up by many more live streams over the coming months, calling out even more A-listers and other entertainers in Hollywood, like Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, Patton Oswalt, James Gunn, Claire Grant, Seth's wife, Dan Harmon, Justin Roiland, Dan Ferguson, Tyler Shields, Marilyn Manson, Matt Cohen, David Yarovesky, Dan Schneider, Stephen Colbert, or Colbert, and more. Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So let's watch this video, kind of summarizing the Isaac Kappy enigma, and then we'll get into even more details here. Yeah, it is kind of strange that he said he wouldn't commit suicide. Although I guess you see, it's tough because it's without truly independent, non-conflict of interest investigations. I mean, how can we really compile a statistical data set of people who said whatever they said and then did or didn't commit suicide? What percentages were murders staged as suicides? It would be really tough to get those statistics, but I mean, it's kind of hard to say that nobody has ever committed suicide who stated that they wouldn't, especially if they were mentally unwell with, shifting mood swings. Obviously, I'm not claiming he did or he didn't. This is MINDSHOCK, where the only thing we know for sure is that we don't know anything for sure, and I do not claim anything is true or untrue. So let's take a look at this video here, and we will dissect the saga of Isaac Kappy.
Steven. I was going to be talking a lot about Seth and Claire and Yarvo and Matt Cohen and Dan Ferguson. Ooh. Where does Dan Ferguson work? No, I'm not even going to talk about Spielberg, who, by the way, Steven Spielberg is a pedophile. Yep. See how easy that was, Corey? I didn't need $10 million. I just said it. But what I want to get into is, I want to get into like the bigger picture of how this stuff is all connected. Because when you're talking about like really elite levels, the name of the game is blackmail. So they want something on you that they can hold over your head so they can basically own you and tell you what to do. And they film it. And then they own you. So that's what runs the whole system, basically. They want compromised people because they're easy to control. And a lot of people
Oh, wow. I was just talking this entire time on mute. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so... Alright, so... What I was going to say is, I don't know if anybody's addressed this, but Isaac Kappy allegedly met his end May 13th, 2019, and not even 2 months later, Jeffrey Epstein is arrested July 6th, 2019, allegedly meets his end August 10th, 2019. So this is all happening the same summer, and the point here is that once the Epstein situation went mainstream, Joe Rogan was talking about it on how, the elites are compromised and blackmailed. But here is Kappy talking about this before Epstein's 2019 arrest. So that's very interesting timing there, isn't it? Now, obviously, Alex Jones and some of these other conspiracy theorists did mention some of these rituals and blackmail situations, as well as other, but in the mainstream, it didn't really go mainstream until Epstein. And so this is less than 2 months before Epstein, where Kappy allegedly met his end, but exposing all of this all prior.
They'll just go along with it and do whatever just for fame or money or accolades or any of that stuff. I don't understand it. Some people are just really into the evil shit. Yarvo.
And a lot of people are just calling him crazy, but here's the thing. If you've witnessed some of this or been in the presence of people who have admitted doing this, and you believe it, whether true or not, how sane would you be? Because a lot of the gullible coincidence theorist goofs, a lot of these goofs hallucinate that everybody should be totally 100% sane if they're telling the truth about anything. I mean, the level of goofery in expecting people to not be insane involving some of this material, it's just, it's pretty wild.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also a pedophile. Tom Hanks, folks, is a pedophile. I'm sorry if this is the kind of bursting your bubble, all this information is new, but it's time that this comes out into the open, because we are going to change the way everything works, because at the top levels of wealth, of power, the very top levels, these people are just sick and psycho. Look into the Rothschild family. Do some research. You heard it's cannibals. Yeah, there is cannibalism. The higher you go, the more sick it gets.
Well, another point too, wouldn't you have to, let's say it's true, wouldn't you, or even if it's not true, but one believes it's true, wouldn't you have to be kind of crazy to expose it like this? Because crazy doesn't mean untrue. Like coincidence theorists and authority-worshipping cultists, I mean, they're so mentally deficient, they think conspiracy somehow means untrue, or that crazy somehow means untrue in some capacity.
What has been happening for a very long, yes it has, a very, very, very long time. And this is the thing, this is what really hurts about the situation, because a lot of people are kind of born into this. They grow up in it, they are abused, and through the abuse, especially as a child, you can break someone's subconscious mind. If you're not aware of any of this stuff, look into MK Ultra. I heard Bronfman has Fiji. Oh yeah. By the way, Bronfman, if you don't know who that is, Claire Bronfman, she's a heiress for Seagram's, the liquor company, and she got arrested yesterday. Oh, Jimmy Savile. Yes, I'm getting into that. That's on my notes here. That's in my notes. The royal family. Yeah, Jimmy Savile raped and murdered hundreds of kids over the course of 3 decades or longer, no one ever looked into it. And he hung out with the royal family. He was knighted. He was knighted. And the reason I want to talk about Jimmy...
I mean, that is a good question. Like, what kind of a legitimate royal family would knight an individual like that? Now, the reason I haven't extensively covered him is, I mean, I don't know how the easiest way to say this. I don't know the easiest way to say this. When all the stuff about Savile was coming out, or at least re-coming out more in the mainstream, you could just tell that there's something off about this guy. Now, again, it's not that you should judge a book by its cover, but sometimes the cover is an accurate representation of what is in the book. I mean, look into this guy's eyes. Would it surprise you if any of the allegations were true? And do you really want to look at that face for too long? This is Jimmy Savile. I went over him a little bit in the Satanic Ritual Abuse Exposed podcast, where we had this extensive multi-hour, just hours and hours and hours of documented receipts for all the coincidence theorists hallucinating that satanic panic is made up. But look into this guy's eyes just for a second. I'm gonna take this scumbag off the screen now. But there's a reason I don't want to spend time on this guy. I mean, there's there's something off about this guy. Now, whether you believe the allegations or not, there is something off about that individual.
Savile is because this guy, Mark Thompson, he runs the New York Times. Now, Mark Thompson was head of the BBC for years and years and years. They covered up allegations, they covered up abuse, they let him run rampant, and they just covered it up. So this guy, Mark Thompson, is at BBC, and then he goes over to the New York Times. Now think about it. If someone like that is running a giant media organization, what are they going to say? What are they going to tell you? Are they going to tell you the truth? No. No, they're not going to tell the truth. That's why when people say the news is fake, it's because it's run by these people who are into some very, 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 very sick stuff. I want to, what else do we got here? Elsa Gate. Please, 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 I want you guys to research and look about Elsa Gate. Elsa Gate is one of the most evil things I've ever encountered in my life. It's making videos on YouTube with traumatic triggers that actually rewire people's, or not people, but like little babies, it rewires their subconscious to be more receptive and open to being abused. It is absolutely...
What kind of art project is this? I mean, at what point do the most devout coincidence theorists not think that this is kind of a strange little art project here on the screen? that celebrities film and the kind of art they put in their mansions. It just seems like a strange. I mean, does anybody else think it's kind of a strange art project? Mila 101. I have not really covered John Todd, no. Definitely not in a dedicated episode. Perhaps I should.
I posted something on Twitter yesterday, but that hashtag is so suppressed. It's nuts.
And here he is talking about censored and suppressed hashtags years and years ago now, obviously. It's known that the algo throttles and censors, but back then, I mean, some goofs actually thought it was legit, and the internet was legit, and the search engines were legit.
And again, I know this might be coming as a shock to a lot of you.
And again, who the heck is going to make an art project like this? I mean, there's goofs out there defending these celebrities and these kinds of art projects.
Like, you had no idea because, you know, we're around the media.
And I don't even want to know what liquid that is.
You're told who to trust, who to like. And the people who are telling you who to like are compromised. The people, the actors, the musicians, everybody, those people are compromised at the top level.
Who the heck thinks that this is some kind of an acceptable art project here on the screen?
It's really bad, and it's when it hits you, it's hard. I mean, I didn't know. It took the situation punching me in the face before I realized I was in the middle of some crazy fucking shit. And, you know, most people are good.
Was that some kind of cake that they were gonna eat? I don't even want to replay it. Was that some kind of Jello cake? Who would want to eat a cake like that?
And they want to trust, and they can't even imagine that kind of an evil exists. And that helps them cover it up. We have been brainwashed for our whole lives. If you want to do research on Operation Mockingbird, that's been going on, 50 years.
And yeah, I went over Mockingbird originally on the Britney Spears Deep Dive podcast, but, for those that are saying that Kappy's controlled op or a shill, it's kind of tough because if he is, I mean, he's definitely a unique one, but he also could be legit. I mean, he doesn't seem shill, like, again, unless that's part of the deviousness of trying to get shills that really don't appear to be shills, and then also having shills that seem to be standard cookie cutter shills. That way, they cover all the bases. So I don't really know, but
what happened that caused you to go public? Well, you know what? I couldn't take it anymore. Something came over me on set. I saw the gun allegations, and I saw him like, oh, they're just jokes. I'm like, bro, I know who you are. I know you. I've met you, a number of times. I don't know gun that well, but I'm like, you're a fucking liar, dude. And I just watched them. They lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. And I watched it. I'm like,
Shifty Eyes Shady could be the consent ritual. Okay, here's the thing regarding that. Wouldn't it be more effective to have a real whistleblower and let him blow the whistle for a certain period of time, and then if it got a little too risky, then you take him out? That way it was more genuine. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do both. Let's not fall for false dichotomy logical fallacies. Maybe they do both. The revelation of the method.
Okay, that's and something hit me. There was a hostage situation at the supermarket near my house, and there was like tons of helicopters flying over. I don't know, something like inside of me just activated, and I was like, you know what? I'm fucking doing this. I'm going down to Comic-Con right now. and I'll tell these motherfuckers like, yo, if I'm a liar, call me a liar.
Something was activated? Is this some kind of MK Ultra reference?
To my face. Right? Have I crossed paths with Lloyd Kappy? I don't know if I've met Lloyd. I did a film that I think was picked up by Trauma, but I don't know, it was a while ago. Aren't you concerned for my life? Yeah, but more importantly, I'm concerned for everybody, because this shit has been going on forever. I'm tired of it. I saw your post about the lady. Oh yeah. Hardwick. Oh yeah, I've met Hardwick. Yeah. Ian Black on my list. I don't know Ian Black. Is that the guy that was posting the Tinder for pizza thing?
Mila 101 asks if he was a part of them, why would they unalive him? Well, it's the same thing for any kind of CIA agent or whatever. When someone completes their mission, I mean, they usually get taken out because it's too risky to keep him alive to expose that he was used as a tool to do this. Not that it's true. I'm not claiming anything is true or untrue. But that's kind of MO to take out their own.
Someone answer? I don't know. I don't know who that is. Yeah, Macaulay Culkin and Seth Green are friends. To be honest, I had some fun times with those guys. For being satanic pedophiles, like Seth is a pretty cool dude. I mean, I think I feel sorry. I feel a lot of empathy for them because they grew up in this shit, and it's trauma, it's abuse, and then then you get the money, and then you get the fame, and it's like, okay, and then all of a sudden you're the abuser, and it sucks, man. It sucks. Like, I have a lot of empathy for both of them, like for anyone who is in that situation, because it's hard. What are they gonna? How do you get out? Like, everyone is threatened. Everyone. Why don't you show us proof? There's a bunch of stuff I posted on 8chan. And by the way, the proof is in the fucking pudding. If I'm lying, sue me. Sue me. Great. Let's go to court. Let's have discovery. Do you know how many people I would love to get up there? Associates? Was Jacko innocent? I don't know. I don't know if he was. I like to believe he was. Michael Jackson fucking hated Steven Spielberg. So, and also, this is good. This is what makes me think that Michael Jackson was probably innocent.
That's interesting because his language here seems genuine. He's not like a shill will usually claim something is true or untrue to push an agenda, unless of course they're getting really, really diabolical and careful and articulate about how they roll this out, because a genuine person wouldn't necessarily say yes or no if they didn't know. Like, he's really thinking about it here and saying he's probably innocent, but he's not sure.
Because the media destroyed him. The medical industry destroyed him. He was just fucking destroyed by these pieces of shit that just want to, keep it going. They keep it going. It's been going on a long... Yeah, Sarah is very brave. Oh yeah, Tom Hanks. Tom fucking Hanks, guys. Pedophile. Called out, no response. At first, I thought you were a little... I've heard that before. Do they literally worship... Yes, they do. Go, there's some wedding pictures from Yarbo's wedding. I mean, they have a fucking pentagram, like, right on the thing. It's like... That's the thing. These people, they advertise everything with their symbols. Like, after Pizzagate hit, and then that's when I really began to pay attention, I saw Claire, and she had this leather jacket with a heart inside a heart. I'm like, why are you wearing that? That's like a known pedophile symbol. So, Ian Black is Tinder pizza guy. I mean, it seems pretty obvious. You know, the code words, the when and why did you first start following Q? I first started on QAnon the day that it went up, and I was on it the whole time. I kind of haven't been as much, just because I seem like I'm trolling. Yeah, because that would be fun. QAnon, I was on, yeah, from the very beginning, and I've been studying a lot of stuff for years and years, and then the QAnon actually dropped information that I had never even heard of, so that's why I was like, oh, this is legit.
You've tuned in to Stranger Than Fiction News, broadcasting live from the dark side of the planet. That's just a sample of what is coming out of Isaac Kappy's camp. And he's naming some big names: Seth Green, Claire Grant, Yarvo, Steven Spielberg, Daniel Ferguson, Matt Cohen, Tom Hanks, James Gunn. Some of these we already know about because of their tweets. We got Mark Thompson, Oprah, Dan Schneider, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Kevin Spacey, Tyler Shields. And of course, what Isaac Kappy is saying here is the only way these actors are actually getting on the silver screen is if they're joining this pedophile club. And what happens is they get recorded in the sex acts, and if they step out of line, then they get exposed. And this is what we've been hearing about politicians as well, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we've been hearing about investigating since the Podesta emails came to light. Of course, that whole thing was paralleled in the Nixium case, where you've got Hollywood actors, politicians linked together with some sort of sex cult, some sort of sanctum for children. And this is a real deal. Now the evidence is beyond reproach. There's no denying the evidence. In fact, you've got their own words out there. You've seen them put out skits. There's been numerous articles and reports lately about actors Michael Ian Black. You've also got James Gunn. You've also got the Rick and Morty creator Dan Harmon, which was actually raping a child sex doll, and he pulled down his pants. He did a video on that, and he called it his new pilot, Daryl. These people are beyond sick. They're beyond evil. And I'll tell you what, we exposed, we've been exposing this for quite some time, but we've actually run into some pushback on the TEDx documentary that we did. We were exposing how TEDx was promoting pedophilia. They put out 2 videos within 30 days where it's just like, you should love the pedophiles, they're just like you, and the like. And we actually got these pulled down based on a fake copyright claim. They totally skirted fair use. They totally skirted the fact that this is a news broadcast, that we were doing a news report on this. They pulled it down. They called it copyright infringement. It's like the Fair Use Act doesn't even exist. And right now they're trying to obstruct justice, tear down the evidence wherever it may be, so that people will forget about the TEDx pedophiles as well. And we've left details about that on our Facebook newsfeed. Be sure to check that out. We also left the coordinates and the names of the attorneys representing TEDx. So if you want to give them a call and say that what they're doing is highly immoral and illegal, being pedophile advocates, to say the least, we would appreciate that. We would appreciate to get our property returned to us, our news reports returned to us, so that they can further help further evolve this discussion. We need to have this discussion in America. How many pedophiles are there, and why are they running the television? Why are they running Hollywood? Why are they running the television, the news networks? Why are they running the politics in our country?
You know what's kind of crazy, though? It's like no matter how much evidence comes out, like Nixium cult, um, all of these with Epstein, no matter how much comes out, there will always be coincidence theorists and authority worshipping cultists who will pretend and hallucinate those were single isolated events and none of the people are connected to anybody in Hollywood or political circles other than the one or two people that were convicted. I mean, the level of goofery and cope of most coincidence theorists, I mean, it's really incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
This is a discussion that we need to have, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you're just joining us, Hollywood actor Isaac Kappy is making huge ripples in the Matrix. He's naming names, big names too, like Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, Oprah Winfrey, many others. And if you're joining us late, you can see an excerpt, a 15-minute excerpt of his Periscope feed. But basically, he's on a warpath. He's tired of the pedophiles, and this is somebody from the from the inside. And Isaac Kappy has been featured in movies like Terminator and others as well. You can check out his IMDb. But he's naming basically the whole anti-Trump parade as pedophiles. And some of these high-profile names have exposed themselves, in fact, like Michael Ian Black, like James Gunn, like Dan Harmon, like Dan Schneider, like Seth Green, like many others. But here we're getting even more information, and it is relevant because your children tune into this, your children idolize this kind of thing. And it's not normal that this would be going on.
Carmichael in the chat said the Hempstead case is another bad one. Hard to find now. They deleted all researchers on that one. I went over that one briefly on the Satanic Ritual Abuse Documented Cases podcast.
Our country. And you think people would have picked up on the clues since like the Disney cartoons back in the day when they were putting in the pedophile symbolism, the phallic symbols and all this stuff into their cartoons, highly inappropriate for children. And even like stories like Peter Pan. Pan is based on this like mythical figure from ancient whatever that was all about molesting children. You thought Peter Pan was a kids movie? It's about celebrating pedophilia. If you understand what the pan is really about. And so this stuff is highly disturbing. This is why we cover it. I think it's the one issue that could probably unify everybody as far as what's going on here. The elites that run this country are into occultism. They're into pedophilia. We've got other names like let's see, Lloyd Kaufman, featured with Tony Podesta. Podesta just received an immunity agreement. If we can get some up. Well, here's some of the archives. But, they're just covering for each other.
Wow, that's a real tweet there? That's kind of crazy. If that's a joke, isn't that a weird joke? Who thinks that's a weird joke on the screen there? I mean, I don't know. That just seems like a weird joke. If that's a joke. I mean, I don't know. Patton Oswalt saying that. I mean, I don't even want to repeat that, but that's very weird.
And we're seeing a lot of, sex offenders, child molesters right around the Hillary camp. We had Epstein, Weinstein, Weiner, Slick Willie himself, and they're all getting immunity agreements. They're all getting off scot-free. And, it shouldn't be happening. But the reason that they're getting off scot-free is because they're all connected to this occult pedophilia, this cult of death, that we're seeing basically, celebrated, all around the world, as if it's like, the new thing, the new age, if you will, the age of Aquarius, whatever their deal is. and people that are in the know are fully aware of, the evolution since Madame Blavatsky, Aleister Crowley, all of that stuff from the Victorian age, and how it's progressed into what it is today, transiting through San Francisco and Anton LaVey and all of that stuff. But it is a serious problem in this country. We need to have a conversation about these Luciferians and child molesters. You've seen it all over in their artwork. There was another artiste that was exposed as well, hardcore pedophilia stuff, all in it, with Hillary and Marina Abramovich and the like. And this is some of the, artwork that you see, dead children or children that are being raped, on tables and stuff like that. This is not acceptable. This is not artwork. This is not comedy. This is a culture. It's a culture that needs to be, expelled from our country, and it needs to be exposed for what it is. And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you sit on, Republican or Democrat. What they're doing to children here is disgusting, to say the least. Highly immoral, and it shouldn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat when it comes to these issues, and these issues are real. And these are the people that you celebrate on television. These are the people that, get VIP treatment, they get the big salary and the like. And it's all been exposed in the Podesta emails, in these WikiLeaks. And when their dirty laundry came out, the only thing they could come up with was, the Russians did it. The Russians called 911. Let's go arrest the whistleblower. Are they kidding me? Are they kidding me? Imagine you witness, some kind of like bank robbery. You call.
Why would anybody even want to make art like that, though? It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Like, what is the motivation for the art? Even if let's say this conspiracy isn't true, just for the sake of argument. Like, what's the motivation for this so-called art? It just seems weird. Like, why does that kind of art need to exist? I mean, there's all sorts of art, obviously, that makes people uncomfortable, but there's a whole plethora of that doesn't include this type of weirdness.
911, the cops come in, they arrest you, and they let the criminals go. That's what has happened,
Glitched says it expresses their inner self. Yeah, if it's expressing their desires, whether acted upon or not, that's still really sick. And the fact that they want that made public, unless they don't, and these were all leaked, but I thought that, like, a lot of these are in museums and celebrity mansions, like, way out in the open where anybody can see them.
When it comes to these Podesta emails, when it comes to these WikiLeaks, and I think people need to be fully aware of that, and not buy into their propaganda. The Russians did it. The Russians did it. We don't care who called 911. America doesn't care who called 911. What we care about is the evidence, and we want these people held accountable. And they're never going to be held accountable as long as this corrupt Department of Justice continues to maintain, its stranglehold on, prosecutions and investigations. And so the likes of Rosenstein, Sessions, they have got to go. And Congress is moving in that direction. They've filed the articles of impeachment against Rosenstein. He's still covering up for Hillary. What is this shill's problem? These people in the deep state, they don't care about right and wrong. They care about protecting their own. And that's what it's about. It's just about covering their own agenda, covering their own rear. It has to stop, ladies and gentlemen. We need justice in America. Something has to give.
Yeah, Tam Era says WikiLeaks also leaked the Podesta brothers were in Portugal the time Madeleine McCann went missing. What a coincidence. Well, you wanna see another coincidence? Not only were they placed in the area, but these are the EFITs directly from the Popo. Police sketch of men wanted in abduction of Madeleine McCann. And there was also a woman who looks exactly like Ghislaine Maxwell who was also involved in that. But what a coinky-dink that the actual police EFITs look exactly like them, and they also happen to be in the area. It's a kind of a weird thing. Probably all coincidental. Probably.
And either we're going to give up America or they're going to give up America. Do you want America run by pedophiles and cult members? Or do you want America run by Christians and patriots? There's no room for both in this country. There's no room for pedophiles, child molesters, and devil worshippers in America. And people were outraged when they saw the TEDx, endorsement. Numerous, scholars, psychiatrists working with, various law enforcement agencies promoting the pedophilia. People were shocked. You should have seen how viral that video went, and they had to take him down. They had to take him down. They had to destroy the evidence, just like Hillary is destroying the evidence. Imagine what else was on her emails. What other kind of codes and things of that nature were there? Tons, undoubtedly tons. And everybody should be concerned. Everybody should be concerned about these Hollywood pedophiles, what's going on in their emails. We've covered it. Their Twitters, we should say, their messages. They're promoting the pedophilia. They're promoting the abuse of children, like you cannot believe. And they're talking about straight up molesting children, raping children, and it's like, why aren't these people in jail? Where is the FBI? Think how long they've spent investigating Trump. They have no evidence. They have no proof of collusion, but they keep dragging it on. And then you look at the Hillary investigation. That was done in months. They gave everybody immunity agreements. Everybody got off scot-free. And now you've got the likes of Comey, like, campaigning for the DNC. And, and all of these, FBI insiders are.
It's kind of crazy how Biden has any defenders after videos like this. There's people literally defending this. And these aren't even some of the crazier videos. These aren't even the worst ones.
Hardcore DNC, socialist, communist operatives, including Brennan, who was a communist, an admitted communist at the peak of the Cold War. How does that guy end up being the head of the CIA? Just go ask Hussein Obama, who happens to have funded and protected ISIS. We're going to be bringing in Danny Ray for a fresh perspective on what's going on here. Undoubtedly, this is the worst of the worst that our country has to offer. These pedophiles from Hollywood, these evildoers, they have to be exposed. Justice must be done. Danny Ray, you're live on Stranger Than Fiction News. What do you think of this latest development with Isaac Kappy?
I just really pray that the Lord protects Isaac, because he's doing exactly what all real men and women need to do. We need to stand up for the children. We need to protect the children, expose the evil. Like I've said in the video that was subsequently taken down, Ephesians 6:11 says that we should not have any part of these unfruitful evils that are going on, but rather we are to expose them.
I am Ion's Cat with a very interesting comment in the chat. The CIA created modern art as a way to destabilize foreign countries and launder money. This is just an extension of that. Wait a second. Are you saying that rich people wouldn't legitimately pay for a dot on a canvas? They wouldn't pay millions for a dot on a canvas? How dare you? That little dot on the canvas that any toddler can do, that is definitely worth millions. How dare you insinuate that there might be some money laundering when, this is legit. Dots on large canvases are legit art. How dare you, people? How dare you? Well, if anybody's wondering why people are paying millions for a dot on a canvas, perhaps... I always thought that was kind of weird. I did think that was kind of weird. I don't know.
And when we expose them, we get hit really hard over here, and everybody's seen it. You've shared our videos, and we've gotten plenty of love mail. You guys are always asking what happened. You guys know what happened. We expose the truth, and boom, they take down our stuff. Oddly enough, when we had it up for a little while. They pulled the one that we talked about and exposed it, telling the world how we felt about it, but they managed to leave the other one up long enough to get millions of views because it seemed to, quote unquote, push their agenda. We got lots of hate mail on that one too, of course, and God bless every single one of you who decided.
I think I actually remember in one I forget where this was. I think someone actually sold a blank canvas for $1 million. And there were people standing around talking about how, it's just this abstract art that people don't get. I mean, there was nothing on the canvas, so I guess that was the point. And someone paid like $1.5 million for it just because it was at some kind of high-end art show. I mean, it's pretty crazy stuff. It's pretty crazy stuff. Or sometimes it's just like a line. And then I remember another one which was literally, it was like an art installation where they just took pieces of some garbage in the street and they just glued them together. And they put like a $500,000 price tag on it. I mean, there's some weird stuff out there.
I did to, send in the hate mail, considering, you can take it either way, but we are here to expose this evil. That is what our job is. We are called to be watchmen, and we are watching the dominoes fall. And I'm just so thankful that is what's going on. And Isaac, he said it best at the very end. These people, they need to come forth. They need to just admit what's going on, own up to it, fess up to it, and, start cleaning this up, because this has been happening for way too long.
This actually kind of reminds me of an experiment they did where they took some I don't know if it was kindergartners, arts and crafts or whatever, and they presented, these are I think 2 or 3 different experiments. I don't remember. I saw this stuff so many years ago, and it has nothing to do with conspiracy or anything. It was just interesting psychology. And they alleged it was by this top artist, and people were literally bidding hundreds of thousands of dollars on it. That's something a child made in arts and crafts. And they also did one, this was kind of a viral video, where they had one of the best, was it a cellist? I don't know. Somebody playing the, I think, was it the cello? I don't remember. One of the best musicians in the world. So tickets to his concert were, I don't know, like $500 was like the cheapest one. And this was in New York, I believe. And they had him, I think it was literally the same weekend. They had the guy, I don't even think he wore a disguise, but they had him in street clothes and maybe a hat, but I don't think they put like fake mustaches on him. And he was playing at Penn Station or in a subway somewhere with like a little can for tips. This guy's the best in the world. And he literally had nothing in the jar for I think over an hour. Eventually it was a couple bucks. The best in the world. But people perceived him, so this is, again, the cheapest ticket was $500 to see his show. This is, I think somebody in the chat might know what I'm talking about, because this was like it was kind of viral, like a couple of years ago. And they even did like a news piece on it, because they thought it was kind of funny that nobody knew who the guy was, yet New Yorkers were paying hundreds of dollars for the cheap seats, and they wouldn't even drop a quarter when he was performing for free at the train station. And they, because they didn't know who he was, so they assumed he was like some homeless guy that maybe had some lessons a long time ago. I mean, you could tell he was good, but just the perception. And so the same thing with the art. If you have a whole bunch of rich idiots, like, again, I don't think all of them would be involved. There's got to be some half-decent rich people, maybe not directly connected to political worlds or Hollywood, but whatever. Maybe they just like art and they shop around. I don't know if 100% of them are money laundered. But the point is, psychologically, they're told somebody commands a high price, so there's a certain expectation to pay it. And if you expect somebody doesn't, then you don't. You might not even pay attention to it. Like there were in that video, there were only even a couple people even standing listening. I mean, you can find videos of random street guys with bigger crowds and more money in their tip jar than literally this guy who was the best in the world.
And for it to be coming to the light the way that it is, it just proves to me that God's word is true. It says, that these things will not remain hidden. The things that are done in the dark will be exposed, and we're watching it happen right before our eyes. And it's because we will not be quiet about it. We will not stop talking about it, because silence is consent, and there is no way that we will ever consent to some disgustingness like this. I think honestly, we have to look at a lot of these things like he was talking about ElsaGate. I know we've talked about it before, but this stuff is continuing in our country, and our children are being brainwashed by these videos that are out there on YouTube pushing these things. It's a very, very sick program that they have out there running. Our children don't have a voice. We have to be their voice. And so we have to make sure that we as parents are doing everything we possibly can to keep them safe. You guys pay attention to what they're watching on YouTube. Just because it looks like it's okay, it has Spider-Man and Frozen Elsa, all of these characters that everybody knows and loves, that doesn't mean that it's actually safe. We have to do our part, because these things are coming at our children in every direction, whether it be off of YouTube or even just in regular cartoons. They're doing their part to desensitize, demoralize on every aspect. And we went over this in a prior video, the one that they managed to not take down yet, about all of these tweets from these Hollywood people. Dan Harmon. One that's really big out there is Patton Oswalt. He's out there, literally professing on Twitter that he's a pedophile, and all of this pedophile shamming is hurtful to these pedophiles. Well, great. We want to hurt your feelings, because this is disgusting, and people will not stand for it. We will stand for the children. We are not going to allow our children to be harmed by these people anymore. It's absolutely disgusting that they think that they can joke, quote unquote, joke about these things. The only reason why they joke about them is to make them, normalized. If you're going to sit and laugh about somebody raping a baby doll, okay, yeah, it's a doll, but do you understand the repercussions of what you're actually doing? You're laughing at something that he's pretending is a real baby.
How is that funny? How is that funny? I mean,
it's not funny.
I mean, would anybody do that at a party? Bust out a baby doll, drop your pants, and start screwing it on the couch? No. Okay. I mean, if you did that, you'd probably.
Okay, I found another highly disturbing video. I don't know if this is what this was related to, but yeah, viewer discretion is advised here. I do have the AI censoring software, so hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't work, I mean, I guess this is classified as art. I don't know. This is very weird, though. I don't know how many people have seen this before, but it is quite bizarre. I don't recognize this name. I don't think this is in the US. That's a fancy building. That kind of looks like some kind of UN table right there. What kind of an art? I mean, that looks like some kind of command center. I don't know why she's walking around with a baby, but this is kind of weird. Apparently nobody thinks this is strange, which, does that make it more strange that nobody thinks this is strange? I actually find it more strange that nobody thinks it's strange. Like, what? How does nobody think this is weird? She literally just looked at her, then looked away as if it was, like, not strange. That guy didn't even look. Is this like a school field trip going on when she's doing this? This is kind of weird. I'm guessing the statement is that she is the art, but what's the point of the baby, though? I don't understand what the point of the baby is. I know all these people think this is this isn't weird, and this is in Berlin, so this is like a major city. This might even be their #1 museum. I don't know. But why are they always doing stuff with kids involved, with babies involved? Okay, those people finally thought it was kind of weird. Those are the first two people that had any kind of reaction. Huh? Apparently there's no further statement. Okay, that was kind of weird. But they're just talking about all these art installations, and why is there always a baby involved? Like, I really don't get the baby involvement. Joyce says maybe it's her baby. Okay, so she wanted to take her baby to the museum, and she forgot to do laundry. Like, what's the, I don't get it. Okay, I guess. I mean, yeah, there's no blood or sacrifice or any of that stuff, but... So I guess that's not as bad as what they're talking about here. Because they're talking about this guy... Oh, Glitch says the point is to not get it. Okay, there might be a point there. I guess you could make that argument.
I get lynched, and I hope you do.
Oh, Joyce says maybe she was paid more for including the baby. Whose baby is it, though? It's somebody allowed her to do that with their baby? I don't think I want to know where that baby was sourced from.
You know, I mean, it's unfortunately, right? I mean, that's the way it should be. But somehow, you know, they're trying to change that. They're trying to move the Overton window so that it becomes accepted, and that's what we saw in these TEDx talks, 2 of them in 30 days, where they're promoting the pedophilia. They bring out psychologists, they bring out you know, people that work with the police, and they're like, you know, they start with like this story. Imagine Jonas. Jonas is 18 and he's a law student and he loves soccer. And Jonas, you know, he just wants to be loved, and he'll never be loved by a 6-year-old because society doesn't allow it. And they're just, you know, and they go off in this fantasy, and it's like, well, how do you expect to have like a marriage with a 6-year-old? You don't do that, okay? They're not even at the age of reason. They can't even tell the difference between right and wrong. This is called grooming and sexual abuse. That's the end of it. And when you start talking about it, boom, you know, we had lawyers write us and they're like, oh, you know, we're taking your stuff down, this and that, blah, 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 copyright infringement. And it's like, you know, they're skirting the law. They're skirting fair use. They don't want people reporting on this. They're making all of these TEDx seminars disappear. Now, we've got the hard copies. We filed a counterclaim, and we hope that the public participates in calling these attorneys for this NAMBLA TEDx organization, which, you know, you can find the information on our Facebook feed /STF News. And, you know, call them up and go, you know, how dare you be pedophile advocates? How dare you obstruct justice, destroy the evidence? You know, what do? Do you work for Hillary Clinton? You work for the Democrats? Obviously they do. They're of the same party. They're of the same mindset. And it's pure doom for America if we let these people continue on with their agenda. There's no way that this should be allowed to continue without some sort of pushback from the public. And, you know, we need the public support. Everybody should get involved in this fight against, you know, child pedophilia, you know, and all the things that go with it. It's disgusting. And to think that they would now actually be advocating it like their socialism and their communist ideas, I mean, it just exposes them for who they are. It's a nightmare, ladies and gentlemen. There's absolutely no way that these people should be allowed to, you know, to walk free. And this Nixium case is starting to blow up with this Bronfman, you know, arrest as well as indictment and the like. This is a big story, and it mirrors the Podesta emails to the letter. I mean, it's the exact same scenario. You know, actors, actresses, politicians.
Okay, I think it might be the most bizarre art installation ever. I don't know if this is the same woman or not. This might be some kind of reptilian art installation connection, because yeah, this is very, very bizarre. Definitely NSFW. This, I mean, this is just so weird. I don't understand any of this art stuff. That's, I guess, again, yeah, if the point is to not understand it, I suppose that works. Yeah, I don't know if anybody has seen this one. This one is really, really weird. Looks like it's from 2014. It's just so weird how, like, the way they set this up, too. It's not like it's even, you know, like in an art studio or something. It's, yeah, I don't know. I'll put it on the screen in a second, but just make sure everybody has their eye soap ready, because this is kind of weird. It says her name, like the same artist, I guess that's what we call her, but it actually doesn't look like her. They just set this up right outside the museum. It's on the street. This is kind of reptilian thing. I guess there were random women. Hold on a second. Who's the woman? Is that woman with a stuffed animal pig behind her? Who's that woman behind her? Does she have an animal stuffed pig? And is this woman just a bystander that's walked up? I wonder what the people walking by are. She's laying eggs. like that the time lapse, they're doing this for hours on like the main street. There's like 1 million people, and most of them are walking by without caring. And then some people walk up and try to Glitched says, I once hang out with some fairly liberal people, was just young and dumb. Okay. It doesn't really look like the same one. Okay, part of the art is to fold the sheet in half and then press it for some symmetry of some kind. Very interesting process. Just gonna stand there and look at it for 10 hours? Like what? Is this part of the performance? You have to stand there and look at your art for 10 hours? Hold on, the fold did something. Well, this was titled performance number 1. I don't even want to look at the other performances. Like, what? what is this? I have no idea what any of this stuff is. This stuff is all very, very weird. But I guess that kind of proves the point that if you're going under the umbrella of this weird art world, I guess you could do anything, right? Okay, I don't know. Does anybody know who this woman is? Milo Mawar. Apparently, there's some kind of weird Matrix thing. So, this is in 2017. Again, this is an image, so it's not a video, but totally NSFW. Another warning here. I don't know, I guess this is all covered under art, but what is the message here? Because this is back in 2017, which is a bit of time ago now. This is straight from Alamy. So she's wearing some kind of simulation goggles with some French on her. Okay, whatever. And then apparently she has another installation here. Is this some kind of feminist thing? Apparently this was some kind of feminist demonstration. I don't know. She's got clothes labeled on her as if they're clothes. Does this make sense to anybody? Is she some kind of Illuminati, This was all like 10 years... This is like 10 years ago. She's a performance artist who does a lot of weird stuff. Oh, wow. Definitely do not look her up, though. Because if you think these are bad... Wow. Okay. Alright, I think I've had enough of this. But the goggles are kind of weird, and it's on Alamy, which is like some kind of royalty-free thing. But, yeah, I don't know. It's like they're using art for some kind of, I don't know. I thought it was weird because some of those pictures are really old. So, regarding simulation and all of that. I mean, I know... So... I mean, Google Glass came out... Oh, wow. Okay. So, it came out 2013. So, it was already out by the time she was... Well, some of this was labeled 2015, 16, 17... But, yeah. It just seems kind of weird to write the names of clothes. Yeah, I don't get it. Is this like the European version of drag shows or something? Man, I wish I hadn't looked her name up now. There's a lot of weird stuff here. That first video of her going through the museum with the baby is probably the least weird thing she's ever done. I mean, I can't really I don't think I could put up anything else that she's done, but it's kind of weird. I mean, I'll do one more image just because who said that she was Mother of the Year? We have another Mother of the Year candidate here. It's kind of weird. Who would pose with her like this with your baby and stroller? So apparently she was just walking around Paris in front of the Eiffel Tower, and some mom wants to take a picture with her baby carriage in the picture. Like, that's kind of weird. Anybody else think that's kind of weird? But whatever. Okay, so definitely do not look her up because it's weird.
Child sex cult, child sex trafficking. That was actually in the indictments. This is exactly what this case is about, and it mirrors the Podesta emails. And now when you think about all the tweets and stuff that have come out from these Hollywood pedophiles, it just reinforces it even more. It's not just a suspicion. There's an orgy of evidence, and people need to get involved. People need to do something. This is your country. Take it back. You know, these are the people that show up on television trying to tell you what to think, what to do. Take them out. I mean, start going out there and.
Milo Moore is from Switzerland, the land of the Knights Templar. Interesting. She's known as a conceptual artist. Conceptual art. Interesting. She has a master's degree in psychology from the University of Bern in Switzerland, magna cum laude. And this is what she did with her time. Very interesting. Huh. Yeah. Everything I put on the screen was probably some of the least weird stuff she's done. Yeah, I do have to do a Switzerland podcast. There seems to always be a lot of weird stuff going on in Switzerland.
Pushing back, because these people should not be allowed to express ideas that push for the rape of children. And what's even worse is that we actually have to go out there and try and explain it like any other thing. We shouldn't have to explain that pedophilia is bad. We shouldn't have to explain what's going on here. It should be self-evident to everyone, and people should be basically doing this for themselves. Really, when you think about it, people should actually be involved themselves in this, because it's your children that'll be affected down the line, or somebody's children that.
Tam, Era, are you serious? You want to look up her name? Her name is Milo Moire, M-O-I-R-E. But you probably shouldn't. NSFW warning.
That will be affected down the line. And we're seeing this in the schools, the teachers preying on kids, and then the local media makes it seem like, the high school boy scored with the teacher. They're always trying to move the Overton window down, and they want to bring it down to 14, then they want to bring it down to 9 and 7. And we're seeing this not only in like TEDx and Hollywood, we're seeing this in Netflix. Netflix recently featured a movie where they had a 7 and 9-year-old girl masturbating in the opening scenes, and they slowed it down. It was slow motion, zooming in on their face. It was literally child porn, and the movie is still there. And there's no outrage from the mainstream media, because they're all communist pedophiles that are pushing for the destruction of America. and it's become so normalized to them. You see images like, or you see videos like the creepy Biden footage where he's like literally pinching a girl right there on the nipple. She pulls away. You can see the discomfort, but all the people around the little child are ignoring the abuse. This is what it's like in the Democratic Party. This is what it's like in communist socialist America circles these days. They're abusing children. They look away. They just want to get paid. They've sold out, ladies and gentlemen. They've sold their souls, and they're plotting our demise. Literally, I mean, we could spin this right into the eugenics programs, their Gladio B events, and all the other things. But let's just focus on this topic for the time being. They're abusing the children. They're glamorizing it. They're making light of it. They're trying to make a joke of it. It's some sort of comedy. It's funny to them. Raping children, all this stuff. It's super it's super funny to them. But it's not funny to us, and it shouldn't be funny to you, ladies and gentlemen. And these kids need your support. These kids need your help. And so we got to keep raising awareness on these issues. And we tip our hats to Isaac Kappy and many others that are exposing this, Corey Feldman, and many others that are telling you what's going on. Will you listen? How many people have to tell you that this is happening before you listen? How many videos do you have to see where they're molesting the children right in front of your eyes before you'll listen? What will it take for people to get the drift? Danny Ray, in closing, what else can we say about this horrendous topic?
Well, I hope that there's more people like I have who will come out and explain the things that they have seen, the things that they have heard these people talking about. Isaac, he continues to put out tweets. He told us that he was, offered, more money, higher positions, a new car if he would just, do these things to children too. And he refused, because who would sell their soul for such? It's absolutely appalling. I'd really like to sign off with this. John 3:19 says, "And this was the condemnation, that light had come into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil." This is exactly what we're dealing with. We're dealing with so many people who would rather hide their deeds in the darkness, because they know that if they're exposed by the light, that they will be just run. The people who have a conscience still, the people out there who have not been seared by a hot iron, we will stand for our children. We will do what is right, and we will continue talking about this no matter how uncomfortable it is for all of us. Nobody wants to talk about things like this, but we have to, because silence is consent, and we will not consent to this. I pray that all of you guys who have watched this will share it and talk about this in your daily lives, because this needs to be the main subject. Protecting our children is the utmost important. God bless you all.
Amen. Thanks, Danny Ray. Be sure to check her out at Righteous Defiance. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everybody tuning in. You guys are part of the blockchain. Without you, we'd just be talking to ourselves. So much love to everybody out there. And if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Okay, so let's go a little deeper here. I definitely don't think I want to be getting deeper into any kind of Illuminati art, though. That might be a little too weird for me. So let's go to man, I'm trying to get this other video up, but apparently they don't want this up. Huh. Hold on, I'm gonna get it. You can't stop Bruce McGuire. Okay. Yeah, let's play the Kappy song. I don't know if this is the one that's been requested, but here is one of them.
Hello, guys. Something special is happening in here. That's right. It's brackets and jackets. Bringing it back for brackets and jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh, boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right. Kappy's in the portal. Kappy's in the portal. Kappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jacket's Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. Alright, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon is going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him.
Oh, they're bringing Chris Tucker back into this?
Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Brian Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. And red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of islands.
Very interesting. Wow. All I can say to that is wow. So let's go over some more social media here. Apparently, wow, that's not good. What's going on with the stream? Is everybody still here? Yeah, it is hanging for me. Let me see. Still working on it. Hold on a second. Hmm. Apparently, I don't know what this is in connection to. Somebody's providing receipts here. So this is a social media. This is an Instagram photo of Dane Cook. Beach day at the beach house. I would tag everyone. I'm exhausted. March 19th, 2017. Circled are Kappy and Seth Green. Some kind of party at Dane Cook's beach house. Apparently, Tom Hanks obviously did have odd pictures on his social media as well. Hold on one second. Let me make sure this stream health stays up because I'm getting a lot of lag here. Okay, are we all still here? I think we should be good now. Okay. Yeah, Dane Cook. A lot of people with some interesting things to say about Dane Cook. So there was also a post on the Reddit conspiracy subreddit, which has since been removed. Trying to see if I could get it back. I have text from it, but there's also a photo here of Seth Green. Which is highly strange. Okay, I got it back. Because I got skills like that. Or just AI. But, okay. So, I'm gonna leave this in its original form. Just so... I guess this was posted by a user since deleted, I guess as evidence that this poster had the physical picture. So they're holding this picture in their hand of Seth Green, super young, with some kind of baby and a weird look on his face. So here's the accompanying text to this. Apparently the original... Okay. This is the original poster's story here. I was born March 92 at the University of Louisville Hospital in Kentucky. My mother was 19 years old at the time and was a stripper slash sex worker in a very undesirable part of the town. Seth would have been around 18 at the time this photo was taken. First, I look very little like my mother and even less like my father. I've always questioned whether or not my dad was my real dad or not. He was a few years older than my mom and in the military at the time. They met at a party, hooked up, and he didn't hear from her until a few months later when she asked for abortion money, which she obviously never followed through with. There was never a paternity test done, and I was eventually taken from my mother due to massive amounts of drug use and abuse, sexual and physical, by her and other men she brought around. I actually only have flashes of memories from that time, and my therapist said I blacked out most of it due to trauma. My father's mother, my grandmother, adopted and raised me. I didn't have contact with my mother again until I was 17, and that was only to meet her once, and we never spoke again. My biological mother committed suicide in 2016, and I left a paper sack full of pictures and letters she wanted me to have. I attended the funeral, and my aunt, her sister, gave it to me. In it was this picture. I was obviously super confused. I asked my aunt about the photo and she didn't say much. Just that it was a photo of myself and Seth Green right after I was born in the hospital. I asked my grandmother if she knew anything about why he was there, why he took a photo with me, etc., and she said, "Oh, that's the guy from the Rallies commercial. I remember him coming to visit you and your mom in the hospital." The even weirder part is that he was allegedly there after my birth in March, but the back of the photo, my biological mother had written April 1992 on it. I didn't honestly think about it again. until the Isaac Kappy stuff came out about him, which I'm aware is a debate among conspiracy folks. About 50% of people believed him to be a whistleblower, and 50% believed him to be a nut job with no evidence of his claims. I've pushed all this to the back of my mind until recently. Now I can't stop thinking about it. Why was he there? Is he potentially my real father? Is he in fact a pedo? And my poor drug-addicted, mentally ill sex worker mother gave me to him. I have hospital records that show the abuse I suffered as a small child, and I am by no means flat out accusing him, just curious on everyone's thoughts. So this is quite mind-shocking, is it not? So again, this user has since deleted their post, but this was also a number of years ago. But yeah, if Seth Green has nothing to do with you or your family, why would he be holding a picture of why would he be posing for a picture with a baby at age 18? I mean, that's kind of weird. And this individual also posted themselves holding the photograph. Not that it couldn't be faked either, but obviously it's one step harder to fake it. Wakey Wakey Eggs and Bakey says it's almost like a social experiment to see what people will accept just because everyone else does. Can you imagine just an ordinary person doing that? I'm thinking they'd be arrested for an S offense. Wait, what are you talking about, Wakey Wakey Eggs and Bakey? Eggs and Bakey. What are you talking about? Oh, you're not up to you're are you watching those weird art installations? Okay. So, let's go to conspiracy memes 2. Which well, this is a reference here. Kappy said, I felt the whole world was begging me to rain fire above my enemies till the love washed over me. Till I let the love wash over me. Every day is a gift, that's why we call it the present. Let's go another recap here by Silver Awakening 76 on this subreddit. Off the bridge on May 14th, Kappy found a violent death after plunging from a bridge on the Interstate 40 highway in Arizona. According to police sources, Kappy forced himself off the bridge after two teenagers physically attempted to stop him from doing so. After the fatal jump, Kappy was struck by a passing vehicle. shortly before his death, Kappy deleted his entire Instagram history and posted a final letter with the ominous caption, "Beware the man that has nothing to lose, for he has nothing to protect." In this lengthy suicide note, Kappy writes that he has not been a good guy and compared himself to Judas, who betrayed Jesus. He also referenced Donald Trump, QAnon, and his attempts at exposing Hollywood. The final video, a few days before his death, Kappy posted a final video where he repeats several times that he did a very dumb thing and that he let the darkness consume him. Although Kappy does not explain exactly what he did, because that would put people in harm's way, he is convinced there is no coming back from his decision and that his life was essentially over. Here are some notable quotes from the video where he also answers questions from viewers. "This will likely be my last broadcast. There are a lot of people that I kept out of my life that I wanted in my life, but I didn't want to bring harm to because of all that Illuminati expletive. This struggle against darkness consumed me. Yeah, I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad guy. I have done a disservice to God. I have done a disservice to America. Did I hurt a child? No, I did not hurt a child. I did not kill anyone. No, I'm not being threatened." That's an interesting thing to say as well. "I took some bait. There was a lot of work in inducing what I did. I'm a traitor, and it happened in the blink of an eye. I accessed some very high levels of consciousness, and then I went way, way, way down. I exposed a lot of bad guys, and now I'm exposing myself. Have I become one of them? I am. Now I am one of them. Those people that I was so concerned with finding and rooting out because of the darkness, and I just let the darkness consume me. In the beginning, when I came out, it was from a place of bravery and love. I have betrayed all of you. They will write books about this decision and how expletive dumb it is. Did I lie about Seth Green? No. I crossed the line I shouldn't have crossed. No, I did not take a satanic vow. I am not suicidal. I am not going to tell you what I did because at this point it could still endanger people and I don't want to do that. Can you help me? You can pray for my soul. I did not join the Illuminati. Something bad is about to happen. Some things were planted inside my consciousness. Have I been MK Ultra? Well, let's say there were some things that happened that were not normal as far as things playing in my head that came from outside. I need to pray. I need to pray a lot." Kappy also said on a few occasions that he was suffering from PTSD and that he underwent severe trauma. Theories. All of these bizarre facts sparked a great number of theories across the internet. Some claim that the people who were physically restraining Kappy before jumping were actually pushing him off the bridge. The fact that Kappy clearly stated that he was not suicidal in his final video only exacerbated these theories. Others state that Kappy was a victim of gang stalking, which could explain the quote from his final video about things playing in my head that came from outside. Other theories claim that he was being blackmailed by the elite, citing a mysterious video involving children that briefly surfaced on Kappy's social media accounts. Even more bizarre, some claim that Tom Hanks predicted Kappy's death in one of his IG posts. For years now, Tom Hanks has been creeping people out with bizarre pictures of random single gloves, shoes, or boots found on the ground, combined with strange captions. Many of the comments on these pictures state that these pictures actually represent people who were killed or abducted by the occult elite. I mean, it is, again, if we're going into the numerology and the symbolism, it is quite strange. Historic, so Tom Hanks has this IG post, historic Route 66 roadkill, I hope not. And Isaac Kappy died on Route 66 on the 13th. Okay. About a month prior to Kappy's death, Hanks, who was accused by Kappy, posted the above picture of a glove on Route 66. One thing is for sure, Kappy was convinced that he had a fateful and fatal run-in with the occult elite in the days prior to his death and that he irredeemably sold out. He was convinced that he betrayed his followers and was very aware that his days were numbered. But what actually happened we'll probably never know. So what are the theories here? There was an incident, and he was convinced that he sold out whether he did or didn't. Huh. If it's the gang stalking situation, that is really weird. So, Gnome Thrower posted on the KUWTK Snark, keeping up with the Kardashian Snark subreddit. A very interesting, comment here. My irks with the situation were the address where Isaac talked about Seth in the room was an industrial property made into a residential living space. Isaac mentioned numerous times about insignias and jewelry they would wear, easy to find. Seth Green on Robot Chicken has a lot of connotations towards stuff with kids. His character Chris on Family Guy regularly is assaulted by the pedo guy on the show. Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting. I mean, a lot of people focus on The Simpsons, but Family Guy has a lot of weird stuff in it too. So apparently, Seth Green plays Chris, and he's always being harassed by the old guy, Herbert. So that's kind of interesting if there is some kind of reveal here on what these weirdos are into. So let's look at the Epstein flight log again. For those that don't know, we do have Seth Green on the list here. So that's interesting. That's kind of interesting. I mean, so apparently, the situation with Seth Green and Paris Jackson. So apparently, he accused her and Seth Green, and he ended up choking her. I wonder what was said in that incident and why it was no longer an active investigation. So, okay, let me bring up. Okay, why? Okay. Has everybody seen the Isaac Kappy mind map? I'll put it on the screen in a second. He also has a dead man switch on this mind map. So let's look at this mind map here. Judas Prophecy, LARPers, Chaos, Disinfo, Agents. He's even got the Cicada 3301 on here. Dead Man Switch, alleged Dead Man Switch. Last Instagram. Travel to Australia? social media matrix, CIA, the Mossad, Epstein, Washington, Trump, JFK Jr., Q, Nixon. What an interesting mind map here. Definitely a lot of questions. Has everybody seen the Tom Hanks interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live? I can't believe they actually put this, made this public. I think we're definitely going to get this stream shut down when I put this on the screen. Maybe we should start taking bets on whether the stream's getting shut down. Do you guys want me to put it up? I mean, we could see if Kappy was onto something or not. I think Denise was the sole voice of reason on the NASA Occult Patches stream, which got shut down. Was that right, Denise? Were you the only one who didn't want to risk getting the stream shut down for that? Let's risk it. If we get shut down, we get shut down.
You have a young...
So he had an interview with the Jimmy Kimmel goof.
daughter as well.
I do.
Who is getting involved in show business?
Well, she's... And look, if she...
Like you're in a... I wouldn't say pushing, but it seems like you're very supportive of this.
Oh, listen, when your kids have dreams, I back them up, pure and simple.
Boy, do you, because you brought us some videotape here. This...
Look how nervous he... Why is he rubbing his knee like that? It's like he's really nervous talking about his kids and their dreams.
From a program that you allowed yourselves to be...
I am in the business, so I have some contacts, and there was a possibility perhaps maybe to do something for one of those, the cable channels that are like 300, 320, on the thing. And so we went out and we put together a little possibility for me and my...
Well, we have it right here.
Me and
Let's
Sophie
take a look.
Hanks. My name is Tom Hanks, and I am super excited because my daughter Sophie and I are competing in the Miss Ultimate Sexy Baby Nevada pageant. And when it comes to awards, this is as big as it gets.
I'm Sophie Hanks, and I want to be Miss Ultimate Sexy Baby. I like pageants because because I like winning money and I get to buy anything I want.
So
I mean, I don't know what's more disturbing. This whole thing, the name of the pageant, the fact that it's being presented on Jimmy Kimmel in the mainstream, or that she's talking about how she wants this because she wants a lot of money? What?
Sophie and I did her first page when she was only 3 months old. Here she is. She got queen. You remember that, honey?
Not really.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Well, as you can see, we got over 40 of these bad boys. In fact, we named her Sophie because it rhymes with...
Nothing.
Rhymes with trophy. Say it. I love trophies.
No.
Say it. I love trophies.
No.
Oh, come on. All right, give me a smile. Give me a big pad.
No! I hate smiles! And I hate pageants!
Oh, now don't be a hooch. Don't have a hooch moment. Hooch is a bad dog. Well, you know,
Why are people laughing? Does anybody find this funny?
sometimes she has to take a break. And Sophie can get emotional. I mean, I know what it's like to be a kid because I played one in big. You know, all of this is for Sophie. It's for Sophie. I mean, this is about her.
This is so weird.
I think my dad wants...
That's an interesting thumbnail right there. All of this is so weird. I mean, I don't think I can overstate how weird this is. I mean, this is just weird. Even for the most devout coincidence theorists who think that there's nothing nefarious going on, how do they still not think it's weird, though?
Wants to be a pageant queen, but he can't.
And shoulder, 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 shoulder. She needs to know these routines backwards and forwards because when she gets up there, and it has to be all automatic. Sexy hands, sexy feet, sexy feet, sexy feet. I see right now Sophie lacks discipline, you know, focus. She's got to, she's got to keep that eye on the prize.
I mean, that does not look like a normal human being right there. That does not look like a normal human being.
Daddy!
Honey, sorry, swimsuit competition.
What the heck? That is so weird.
Swimsuit competition.
What the heck is wrong with this guy? Like, who would think this is normal? And this is just so weird. Why would anybody... And this is just weird.
Oh! Sparkle time! You know, when it comes to makeup, some people say less is more, but I say more is more. Yes! Yes, it's here! It's here! Here it is! Oh, there you are. Oh. You look just like a Bratz doll. Oh, you look just like a Bratz doll.
Like, the amount of budget they put out just to do this crap.
We are so excited. This is a glitz pageant, so everything has to be just princess perfect. You wake up, sweetie.
That was probably the only funny thing. Gump.
Sweetie, come on.
So
I mean, who would even print a sign like that? Like, if you get requested to print a sign like that, who would actually do it?
excited.
Hi, Sophie Hanks. Oh, here they are. Look at them. Sweet, pretty losers. Every one of them. Don't wrinkle, don't wrinkle, don't wrinkle. Sit, sit up. I think the only person who can beat Sophie is Sophie. Is that right? Right?
Yes.
That's right. It's hers to lose.
I don't know I mean, why are, like, the amount of parents and adults that are cheering this on is just really weird.
Next up in the Little Miss category is Sophie Hanks.
All right, now remember we talked about focus, right? and make daddy love you. Sexy baby.
Sexy baby.
What the heck? What? And this is so weird.
Baby, all right, get up. There you go. Earn it.
There's something wrong with this guy. Look at this guy's face. There's something wrong with this guy. I don't know what it is. I don't claim anything is true or untrue. But just none of these faces look normal. This is so bizarre. I don't know. I mean, there's only like a minute left, so I guess we'll try to stomach through it. But, I mean, there's something wrong with this guy.
Poison? Poison is Sophie's favorite 1980s hair band. Yeah.
Poison? That's interesting.
Talk dirty to me.
Sexy baby! Sexy baby! You are such a sexy baby!
How did they even shoot this? Like, everybody's just clapping and they think it's all fine and smiling.
Proud of you. Yes, yeah, I'm proud of her. Yeah, I'm proud of her. I mean, did she make some mistakes? Yeah. Mistakes are okay, provided you work on them. And don't make them again. Yeah, well,
I'll try
no,
not
we
to.
won't. We'll work on those really hard.
Miss Ultimate Sexy Baby 2011 Queen is...
There's something seriously wrong with that guy, too.
Rhonda Howard!
Yes!
Well, look, there's a lot of politics involved. A lot of it is who you know.
This is my first Sexy Baby win, and I am over the moon.
I mean, seriously? With a tooth like that? I mean, sticking out like it does? I'm over the sexy baby. I don't think so. I don't get it. Not with teeth like that.
Houston, Tom has a problem. Eat my dust, Hanks. Thanks, Rhonda.
What a bunch of freaks. What a bunch of freaks in the audience applauding it. I don't know. Does Kappy look crazy? I don't know. I don't claim anything is true or untrue. I'm just asking the question, does Kappy look crazy? Okay, so we're going to go over one more thing. Just give me a second. So pretty much, so supposedly Kappy was working with Tracy Twyman, and they were exposing some human trafficking conspiracies, including one that allegedly operated out of a camp which was not far from where Kappy supposedly met his end. So apparently Tracy said that she was being stalked, she was receiving death threats, so she was leaving Twitter and YouTube. And she does have a Dead Man Switch video that, I don't know. Okay. So yeah, apparently there's a private campground near where Kappy supposedly died. And apparently this person who owned the campground is the one who was threatening her. And the circumstances of her death are still seem to be unknown. And she's been mostly scrubbed from the interwebs. She was apparently found hung in her garage. They ruled out her husband as a suspect. She believed the parties involved in Isaac Kappy's death were the same ones who harassed her online and hacked her devices. Other people allege that she's actually not dead. And that she belonged to a secret society, so she was protected or whatever. Yeah, I mean, all of this is really, really tough to dissect. Awesome Town Matt said they are all supposedly have a dead man switch, yet we never see or hear of anything after they die. Those videos were released after they died. They were scrubbed, but you can still find them. I just don't want to put them on the screen. Yeah. So, you can find them on either BitChute or Rumble. Shockspire says, been watching you for a few years, always driving for work, so can't type. 45 to 60 minutes ago, I was getting wild audio glitches. This has never happened before on your streams or otherwise. Yeah, I don't know, did anybody else get weird audio? I mean, the streams aren't, sometimes they drop or they get really bad, but they don't drop off. Or in the case of the occult NASA patches, that was, I think, the only time we actually got the stream shut down. Sean Merrick asked, did anyone see the dash cam video of Isaac on the bridge? Yeah, some people say it's a fake video. I don't know, it's weird. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to round it out here. Isaac Kappy, some believe he was a true whistleblower. Others believe he was some kind of shill or controlled opposition. And some believe he's still alive. As many things, it's possible the truth will not be known, or at least not for quite some time. Yeah, he did open eyes, that's for sure, JR Girl. He did open eyes one way or another. But hope everybody found another edition of the MindShock podcast interesting and informative. If you want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the channel that way. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcaster requests. You could also be a guest on this podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. Otherwise, in the live chat, if you were in the live chat, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Everyone have a good one out there. Plenty more to come.